Welcome everyone to our May 20th online Rotary Club of Madison meeting. I'm Andrea Kaminsky, Club President. As usual, I'd like to start by reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Memorial Day is coming up on Monday, so we thought it would be fitting to hear a patriotic song. Here is Casey Olkers with the national anthem. Casey? Thank you, Casey. Next is Charles McClymans, chair of our Rotary International Committee. He'll share an update on this year's Rotary International Foundation Fund Drive. Charles.
Thank you, President Andrea. And hello, fellow Rotarians. Yes, it's me again. And I'm back to give you an update on the Rotary International Foundation campaign. To date, we have raised $30,485 and 118 members have responded. I know that we'll see a big increase in gifts this next week because we sent out an email. So please try to get your pledge in and your gift in by early next week so I can report back to you a much larger total. Once again, your gift makes a difference. Your gifts are helping our club's international Change Her Story project in Ghana, and gifts to the International Foundation are also providing COVID-19 support right here in our own community, along with other communities throughout the world. One really important item to emphasize and to remember is that our district requires clubs to contribute an average of $100 per member. We call it every Rotarian every year in order to be eligible for matching dollars for international projects. And matching district funds are required to get matching funds from the Rotary International Foundation. So in order for our club to continue to be eligible for up to $75,000 in matching funds, we have to raise $50,000. So that's $100 at least per member. And our members must contribute $50,000 to the annual campaign in order to get those matching funds. So it is a great opportunity for our club to raise some much needed funds. So please make your gift by the end of next week so that we can count you in this year's Rotary International Foundation campaign. So take care, guys. Thank you. Be well.
Thank you, Charles. I know that during the pandemic, a number of members are facing financial difficulties. Timing isn't the best for our annual campaign, and we appreciate the gifts that you do, yet you feel you can share. Thanks again. Now, area Rotary clubs are joining together to place an order for Rotary branded cotton face masks. You can see on your screen a photo of the mask available at a cost of $7 each, and that includes the shipping costs to you. These are not medical grade masks, but they are machine washable, double-sided, tightly woven cotton, and they meet the CDC recommendations for cloth face masks. So we'll have a link in this week's Rotary News, which will come in your inbox on Friday, and that will lead you to an order form, or you can contact the Rotary office to place an order if you're interested. Now, especially in times of social distancing, we think it's important to remember the importance of Rotary in our lives. Let's watch a brief 2-minute video titled, Why Rotary?
Why Rotary? Well, let's start with why it was founded. In 1905, a Chicago attorney named Paul P. Harris formed one of the world's first service organizations, the Rotary Club of Chicago. It was a place where professionals with diverse backgrounds could exchange ideas, form meaningful friendships, and serve their community. The name Rotary came from the group's early practice of rotating the meeting location among the offices of each member. And for over a century, the community has expanded all over the globe, and the exchange of ideas, friendships, and service has grown right along with it. Rotary has always been a magnet for leadership, not only in its members, but also in those who regularly present at Rotary meetings. Few places allow you to rub elbows with so many leaders, and at the same time, lend a hand to so many in need. You know, our fight to end polio is this close to succeeding. With over 1.2 million members, in over 34,000 clubs worldwide, the networking and service opportunities are almost endless. And in every one of those clubs, the members are dedicated to service above self and maintaining the 6 areas of focus: promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. Those focus areas and everything we do can always be put through our 4-way test. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Are you a busy business or community leader whose heart is set to serve above self? Then we were made for each other. The meetings have stopped rotating, but our passion to network, share, and serve has not. Why don't you look us up? We'd love to invite you to our next meeting. Rotary. Join leaders, exchange ideas, take action.
This video is available on our club's YouTube channel, so you can view it again there or share it with someone you think would make a good member of our Rotary Club. Now, we have birthdays to celebrate. This week's birthday members are Fred Weinhold, Ted Ballwig, past President Donna Moreland, Ross Levine, who says, quote, working on the front lines at a regional medical center has been recently enlightening. I hope all of my fellow Rotarians stay healthy. Thank you for that, Ross. Past President Steve Mixtacki. Bob Calder, who shares this quote. He says, perhaps life's greatest tragedy is that we're generally more admired for what we have rather than for what we are. We wish all of these members a happy birthday and thank those who made a contribution to our Madison Rotary Foundation. Let's sing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday, Rotarians. Stay home, stay safe.
Thanks to Joe Lanus for that extended version of the birthday song on his cello this week. Nicely done. And now, on to our program for today. Our speaker is Mary Kolar, who is Secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. In this position, she is the chief advocate for the more than 350,000 veterans and their families in our state. Secretary Kolar holds master's degrees in National Security and Strategic Studies from the Naval War College and in Adult Education from the University of Rhode Island, as well as a bachelor's degree in marketing from UW-La Crosse. She was commissioned in the United States Navy in 1980 and served on active duty for 28 years. A commitment to our nation runs through Secretary Kolar's family, with her grandfather, her father, and 4 brothers all serving in the military. In addition, her husband Scott is a Navy veteran. With Memorial Day coming up on Monday, May 25th, it's fitting that Secretary Kolar will talk with us today about the significance of Memorial Day. Let's welcome VA Secretary Mary Kolar to our virtual podium. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me to speak. I'm honored to join you, even if I can't do so in person. I'll begin by sharing with you some information about the WDVA. Wisconsin is home to about 345,000 veterans. WDVA works to ensure each of these veterans are appreciated for their service and have access to the programs, benefits, and services they have earned. The WDVA provides Wisconsin veterans, and in some instances, veterans' family members, access to programs designed to provide health, housing, educational, and economic assistance. Our programs include skilled nursing care, memorial cemeteries and military funeral honors, federal veteran claims assistance, housing, mental health, and crisis services, grants to individuals and organizations, and historical and educational promotion. Wisconsin has earned a national reputation for being a generous state with the programs we offer that enable veterans to successfully integrate into our civilian society. Our staff who work in our Veterans Benefits Resource Center are in many cases the first person a veteran speaks to when they have questions about his or her eligibility for benefits. In fiscal year 19, our Veterans Benefit Resource Center responded to nearly 40,000 contacts via phone, online chat, and emails, and our eligibility staff processed about 12,000 Veterans Benefits Program applications. We also make sure that Wisconsin veterans have access to all federal benefits that veterans and their families may be entitled to. Our Milwaukee Claims Office team helps veterans navigate the federal claims process for disability and pension, medical care, and death benefits. Each year, on average, the economic impact for the approximately 20,000 claims we represent is about $400 million. One of our newer and very successful programs is the Veterans Outreach and Recovery Program, or VORP. This program is the cornerstone of the department's efforts to address the mental health needs of veterans. We have an outreach and recovery regional coordinator located in each of 11 regions throughout the state. The coordinator develops relationships with local people, including county and private behavioral health organizations, as well as veterans and homeless organizations, to encourage referrals of their veteran populations. Our coordinators work directly with the veteran to assist with referral services to meet their needs, such as medical care, financial assistance, legal assistance, child care, housing, mental health services, substance abuse treatment, and more. Since it began less than 2 years ago, this program has had a tremendous impact, helping about 1,500 veterans with behavioral challenges such as substance use and mental health challenges such as PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and military sexual trauma, among others. WDVA also has 3 skilled nursing facilities located in Chippewa Falls, King, and Union Grove, which together provide more than 700 of our nation's heroes and their spouses around-the-clock care. Our veterans' homes are proud to have earned a distinguished reputation nationally with excellent safety records and high-quality care ratings. Each of these homes admits veterans, their spouses, and Gold Star parents. An additional service we provide is giving veterans an honorable resting place and send-off at the end of life. We have 3 Veterans Memorial Cemeteries, King, Spooner, and Union Grove, that offer a beautiful, dignified, final resting place. Finally, the WDVA administers the Wisconsin Veterans Museum, which consists of exhibits, living histories, informational programs, speakers, and much more, educating the public with the unique stories and history of Wisconsin veterans. A Smithsonian affiliate, the museum welcomes about 90,000 visitors per year. We can be proud of the many veterans' benefits Wisconsin offers. If you are a veteran, even if you think you may not qualify for a benefit, I strongly urge you to look into our benefits. I also encourage family members to talk to their veterans and encourage them to seek eligibility determination. You may be wondering about the impact of the COVID-19 on these programs and services. Through teamwork and perseverance, all of our programs have continued during this unprecedented time. We remain dedicated to maintaining our services to our state's veterans and their families. We are still fulfilling our mission each and every day. Providing a safe environment for our veterans' home members and staff remains my top priority. Thankfully, we currently have and have had 0 cases of COVID-19 at our homes. We credit our wonderful and dedicated staff, members, and families for following the protocols that we've implemented to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Without a COVID-19 vaccine or treatment, prevention is our primary tool to keep our members and workforce safe. Governor Evers' Safer at Home order has helped us to keep members and staff well by helping our staff limit their exposure when they are getting groceries, gas, or other necessities for their families. The more we can all stay home and social distance, the lower the risk to ourselves and to others, including those in our veterans' homes. In spite of the challenges of COVID-19, we are still providing our veterans a dignified resting place. We have temporarily discontinued committal services while continuing to allow families to witness their loved ones' internments with less than 10 family members. We continue to work with families to schedule future memorial and/or celebration of life services, as well as full military funeral honors. I look forward to the day our veterans' homes are able to enjoy family visits and outings, the day we can resume full operations at our cemeteries, and the day we can once again meet face to face regularly with our state's veterans. Until then, we continue working hard to support Wisconsin veterans during this challenging time. In addition to the benefits and services we provide year-round, our staff at WDVA is preparing for Memorial Day next Monday. Due to COVID-19, we will have a virtual ceremony this year. I'm excited to share the details with you, but first, let me provide some background on this solemn day itself. Memorial Day is dedicated to remembering those who lost their lives while serving in our United States Armed Forces. Its meaning and purpose is profoundly rooted in the immediate aftermath of the Civil War and the inherent desire of veterans to remember their comrades who never came home. In 1868, General John Logan, the national commander of the Union Veterans Organization, the Grand Army of the Republic, called for a national day of remembrance and reflection. Calling on veterans and citizens alike, he proclaimed, "Let us then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us in this solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude, the soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan." That charge not only to remember fallen comrades, but to remember the family they left behind, still resonates today. Every citizen across this nation owes a debt to those who, in President Lincoln's words, gave their last full measure of devotion. Taking a single day to pause and reflect on the long list of names of those honored dead is the least we can do. Here in Wisconsin, that list stretches back well over 150 years. On that list are the names of thousands of Wisconsinites from every generation and every conflict that remind us of the true meaning of Memorial Day. Names like Hans Hegg, who led the all-Scandinavian 15th Wisconsin Infantry Regiment during the Civil War. Hegg, an immigrant from Norway, truly believed in the ideas of his new country, saying that, "We came to America because it is a free country. Its principles struck a responsible chord in our heart." Recruiting other Scandinavian immigrants, Hegg said, "The government of our adopted country is in danger. It is our duty as brave and intelligent citizens to extend our hands in defense of the cause of our country and of our homes." Colonel Hans Hegg was killed at the Battle of Chickamauga in September 1863 and is now immortalized with a statue prominently located on the Capitol grounds here in Madison. Or the name of Morris Togstead, the last Madisonian who was killed in the war that would make the world safe for democracy, World War I. On November 10th, 1918, Togstead knew the end of the war was all but certain. It was widely known that the German peace delegation had been given a deadline to accept peace terms, November 11th. On the 10th, mere hours left to go before the deadline expired, and the fighting still as fierce as ever. Togstead wrote home to his parents, "Although rumors of approaching peace are frequent, the activities were such that peace seemed as far away as ever." Later that day, Togstead was hit by shrapnel from a German shell and died in the arms of a fellow Madisonian. The war did indeed end, as we know, less than 24 hours later at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November 1918. Today, he is immortalized as one part of the namesake of a street on Madison's west side, Tongstead Glen. Tongstead, the last from Madison to die in World War I, and Victor Glen, one of the first to die in World War II. Let us recall the names of the Barber brothers of New London, Wisconsin, Malcom, Randolph, and LeRoy. All three joined the Navy and were assigned to the USS Oklahoma, based out of Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Just weeks before the infamous attack on December 7, 1941, their father wrote the Navy asking that they be reassigned to separate ships, just in case. Unfortunately, all three were still aboard the Oklahoma that fateful Sunday morning and were trapped when she capsized during the attack. Their bodies were never identified, and they now rest among the many unknown graves. 2 years later, the destroyer USS Barber was named in their honor, with their younger brother Clayton serving aboard the ship. For some names on our honored list, their service and sacrifice did not end with World War II, but carried on into the Korean War. Mitchell Red Cloud Jr. of the Ho-Chunk Nation was wounded while serving with the Marines during the Battle of Okinawa in World War II. Honorably discharged after the war, Red Cloud returned to Wisconsin. In 1948, Red Cloud returned to the military, joining the Army this time. Red Cloud was among the first U.S. troops sent to Korea when the Korean conflict began. On the night of November 5, 1950, in a forward observation post, he spotted an enemy force moving to attack. He raised the alarm for the rest of his company and began firing. Shot numerous times, yet refusing to withdraw, Red Cloud tied himself to a tree and continued to hold the enemy back, giving his comrades time to evacuate the other wounded and fall back. The next morning, after retaking the position, his comrades found his body surrounded by many enemy dead. For his heroic, selfless actions, Corporal Red Cloud Jr. was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. The United States Army installation Camp Red Cloud in South Korea was named in his honor, as well as the U.S. naval vessel USNS Red Cloud. The list of names of the departed of Vietnam is forever etched in stone at the National Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Among those listed from Madison is the name of Richard W. Fischer. While serving with the Marines in Vietnam, Fischer became separated from his unit, and all attempts by his comrades to reconnect with him were met by enemy fire. He was officially declared missing in action in January 1968. It wasn't until 10 years later, in 1978, that the Marines officially declared him dead, despite never having recovered his remains. His family labored to uncover what had happened to him for decades and never truly found closure until his remains were finally identified in 2007, nearly 40 years after his death. Richard Fischer was finally laid to rest by his family in November 2007 under a memorial headstone, which has been laid in 1978 here in Madison in Forest Hill Cemetery. Those missing in action and presumed dead weigh heavily on the minds of those they leave behind. Harold Camps of Coleman, Wisconsin, served in the Air Force during the Cold War. While on a covert surveillance mission over Soviet Armenia in 1958, Camps' aircraft was shot down with all hands lost. Despite the State Department and his family's attempts to locate Camps or his remains, his body was not recovered. Neither the U.S. nor Soviet governments were willing to release any information. Camps was declared dead in 1961. In 1993, American scientists were allowed to inspect the crash site, recovering over 2,000 bone fragments and aircraft parts. 5 years later, in 1998, 40 years after their death, the remaining missing airmen, including Camps, were positively identified through DNA testing. His family was finally allowed closure, and his remains were interred at Arlington National Cemetery. Even in times of apparent peace, death is a risk for those in our armed forces. Mark Nieto of Fond du Lac was on his final tour of duty aboard the USS Cole in October 2000. 2 weeks from Nieto completing his 6-year service commitment, the Cole was refueling in Aden, Yemen. Nieto had just arrived in the engine room to supervise the changing of the filters when the Cole was attacked by a small boat packed with explosives. Nieto was among the 17 crew members killed during that terrorist attack. His remains were cremated and returned to the United States. In 2002, with the ship repaired, a ceremony was held aboard the Cole, where Nieto's mother presented a box with an urn with some of his ashes to the crew for scattering at sea. As we remember these service members and others, it is equally important to reflect on how to honor them, their memory, throughout the year. Their stories remind us to cherish all that they served to protect, our freedoms, their comrades, and the families they left behind. We can honor their memory not only on a designated day, but throughout the year with acts of kindness and citizenship, from exercising our right to vote to sharing these stories that exemplify how we know that freedom is not free. Our Wisconsin Veterans Museum here in Madison keeps the memory of all Wisconsin veterans alive every day. The idea that every veteran is a story is at the heart of everything we do. WDVA is dedicated to ensuring that we always remember and honor those who have gone before us. Each year, on the last Monday in May, we join Americans across the country to make a special effort to recognize United States service members, the men and women of our military who served our country, who made the ultimate sacrifice. We are unable to gather in person at our state's veterans cemeteries this Memorial Day, but I am grateful for the opportunity to recognize and remember our heroes online as part of our WDVA virtual Memorial Day tribute. I invite you to join us for Memorial Day 2020, Wisconsin's virtual commemoration at www.wisvetsmemorialday2020.com. Our ceremony is certainly different this year, but the meaning behind it remains the same. We still honor and express our sincerest gratitude to the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen who died in defense of our nation and our values. Be assured that while we cannot gather, we will honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in a worthy manner. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. I encourage you to join us for our virtual Memorial Day ceremony on May 25th. I hope you will also take a few moments to view the WDVA website, to learn more about WDVA, subscribe to RE News, and follow us on social media, where we share all of these and other great stories. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our handle is @WisVets for all three. For those who made the ultimate sacrifice, we can never honor them enough. For their families and loved ones they left behind, there are no words to adequately express our deepest sympathies and gratitude. And for those of us here today, I leave you with one last thought from a famous epitaph written by an English author at the end of World War I. For me, it captures the true message of Memorial Day. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today.
Thank you to Secretary Kolar for speaking to us today. I want to remind our members you can watch this video again or view other past speakers on our club's YouTube channel, and you'll find a link for that on the homepage of our club's website. For those interested, we'll now have a 15-minute Q&A time with our speaker. I'll be asking questions that came in during her presentation today. And now, our meeting is adjourned. Stay well, and we'll see you online next Wednesday.